2. Today I'm coming here to you. Today we unboxed our Gator Glide. It came in today, and I didn't get any hats with it. I didn't get any stickers with it. Hopefully they're in the mail coming soon, because David promised me that he would send me some, and he would help promote this channel. So with all that being said, I am announcing that I, Lone Star Mobile Mechanic, am working toward becoming a installer for Gator Glide. Yeah, I know I'm just doing this right now underneath the shade of my tree here, but it's going to be a 30 by 50 shop built right over here real soon, and that's going to become my boat shop. I'm gonna, in this shop, I'm gonna do nothing but build mud boats and duck boats for customers, one at a time. So if you want a duck boat or a mud boat, just yell at me. We will put yours together from the ground up. Brand new boats, used boats, it don't matter. We can take care of your boat problem. Anyway, the packing list, it came with a Gator Base black, 1 quart, and a Gator Glide 2 olive green. All in all, it was about $75, I believe, for this. And you seen in my last video the surface preparation that I went through. I sanded this whole thing down with 60 grit sandpaper, and then I went over all my rivets with a round wire wheel to get all the paint off. I'm working with bare metal, so when I come in tomorrow, you're going to see me wash and degrease this entire boat, mask it off, and put the first layer of Gator Glide base on here. Now, I'm going to read the instructions to you real quick. And there's a little letter here from Gator Heads. It says, "Thank you very much for your order. Please print, read, and save the following. Be sure to watch 3 application videos on our website, www.gatorglide.com. I did this the other day, and whenever I seen that it wanted me to sand this with 100 grit sandpaper after I'd done it with 60 grit to get all the paint off, called David and asked him, and he said that the 60 grit would be sufficient as long as I was working with bare metal. And we're down to it. We got sufficient scratches in here. My best friend used to be a painter. He painted cars, and he always said, he said, if you want a good stick, he said, you start with a good scratch. And you feel you scratch in, and by the time you get your scratches filled in, you've got a nice slick layer of paint, and it will stick. It'll adhere to whatever surface you apply it to. And I'm going to apply his 30-something years of knowledge painting cars and trucks to painting this boat. God bless you, Richard Moore. I know he's done dead and gone, but I'm going to dedicate this video series to him and take care of this. Alright, so before starting Gator Glide, Gator Base, Gator Glide, mix Part A thoroughly with a high shear mixer. Gator Base, 4 or 5 thin coats is ideal. You can mix as much as you need and save some for touch-ups later. When you open the bucket, mark the outside of the top level, then mark half, quarter, and so on, and do the same with the catalyst and the mix accordingly. Example, if you are mixing 1/4 or 1/2 of Part A, then use 1/4 or 1/2 of Part B. It's simple enough. You just use a ruler and use your metric scale and just divide it in half and from the level of your fluids, and then divide that in quarters, and you just go with it from there. You just mix 1/4 with 1/4. Put it on as thin as possible. says, give the Gator Base 72 hours to dry before applying the Gator Glide. So 3 days after we paint the Gator Base on, we're going to put the Gator Glide on. So let's see, tomorrow will be Tuesday, so we'll put it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we'll be putting the Gator Glide on. So this weekend we're going to dedicate it to putting the Gator Glide on. So next week we will have this boat flipped over and we will start sanding and cleaning the underside of it for a aluminum paint application. And we're going to put a floor in this boat and we're going to get it all ready. Okay, it says apply both Gator Base and Gator Glide in multiple thin coats using a 6" by 3/8 nap roller like the white ones with the yellow stripe running through it. Also, like working out of a 2-gallon bucket with a paint grid, and you can get both at Home Depot. Well, I went to Home Depot and I got what they had. Being COVID going on, I got some really good quality nap rollers, and I got them so I wouldn't have to clean them up. I got enough to do 12 coats. Okay, so we're going to after we get through washing the boat one time, we're going to now, as we wash it, we're going to use 200 grit sandpaper or a Scotch-Brite pad. And I'm pretty sure we're going to use a red Scotch-Brite pad and some of this good old Trinity County, Texas water. And we're gonna slick this bottom off and degrease it and have it ready to paint. That's going to be no problem. Okay, Gator Glide, slick bottom, 5 thin coats is ideal. You can mix as much as you will need and save some for touch-ups later. When you open the bucket, mark the outside of the top level, then mark half, quarter, and so on, and do the same with the catalyst. Mix accordingly. Example, if you're using 1/4, 1/2 pint of A, then use 1/4, 1/2 pint of B. Then it says the Gator Glide is going to fisheye like you're painting a wax tube. That's just how it is. After you roll the second section and before dipping your roller for the third, go back and dry roll the first section. You will see it start to tighten up. You may need to go back again. After the second or third coat, it will cover fine. So if you are applying it thin enough and letting it dry between coats, you have about 70-minute pot life. So mix accordingly. Pot life is 70 minutes approximately between time that you mix it and the time it's going to dry. So you want to be able to get done with what you're doing in that period of time. And whenever it's talking about fish eyeing, it means it's going to dry and it's going to leave pockets in it. And those pockets are going to look, well, they're going to look like fish eyes. And that's what it's talking about, is closing the fish eyes up. The fish eyes will start out, they'll be large, and they'll just work their way down, they'll tighten up, and eventually you'll end up with a real tight fish eye. And what that does is that fish eye actually helps break the surface tension of the water and or whatever else it's going to be gliding across. It should be, I have never seen it before, but I've seen it done on videos before, on these videos, and it just makes everything super slick, and so nothing will stick to it. And whenever you hit a muddy spot or a shallow spot in the water, you should be able to just glide right across it. And theoretically, you could use this stuff to paint the underwells of your 4x4 trucks and skid plates on your 4x4 trucks and your ATVs, and it would actually make them slide better in mud and would help you get out of mud holes, and whenever you're normally you'd be high centered and stuck, you would slide just a little bit more. They give you the advantage you're looking for. All right, it says wait for it to dry. Dry for about 20-30 minutes to the touch. Start your next coat. Please never hesitate to call to discuss the application, mixing tips, or if you just want to bounce ideas off. The longer it sits before you run it, the harder it gets. This is probably going to sit 2 or 3 weeks while we work on the bottom of the boat, the inside of the boat, getting the boat camouflage and all that good stuff before we put the mud motor on it. That's going to be the last thing we do. We're going to put the mud motor on it, and she's going to be ready to go. So a couple of weeks sitting and hardening is going to help this. It's going to help it. And in that time period right there, it don't need no beating, no banging, no scratching up against anything. So sitting out here just like it is in this good old East Texas heat will just do it some good. It says thin to win. And I've heard him say that so many times. That video, it's like, wow, okay. Thin to win, about 20-30 minutes to the touch, and start your next coat. All right, thin to win. I can't stress this enough. Thin coats. If you can put the same amount on in 3 coats, or in integrate, and the same for the Gator Glide. It takes about 2 hours to complete the job. We ship most orders 2 business days, and the date received. Most orders in the 48 states are received by our customers in 4 to 6 days. VIA standard delivery. All processing and delivery times are based on business days. This includes weekends and holidays. I ordered mine on Friday and I received it on Monday afternoon. Okay, so let's move on over here to the Gator Base. Surface prep. It says Gator Base is a silicone epoxy having unique adhesion properties to a broad range of substrates, and adhesion properties coupled with excellent elongation and water resistance properties make it ideal for a protective coat or a primer. Proper substrate treatment is sometimes necessary prior to application. Steel SSPC7, a brushed off blast clean surface. Aluminum SSPC concrete power wash, removing oil residue. Mixing instructions. See application guide. Before mixing, shake or stir each component until homogeneous. Entire contents of each container should be mixed together. For quantities less than a prepackaged kit, mix as follows. To 11 parts of the A component, mix 2 parts of the B component. Mix A and B until completely blended. No induction period is necessary. Spray or roll immediately. That means as soon as you get through mixing it, you start painting. Alright? Thinning and clean up. In most cases, it's not necessary to thin Gator Base. If you find it necessary to thin Gator Base, you may add up to 5% drinking water. Clean up by using soap and water while Gator Base is in an uncured state. For best results, clean all equipment as soon as the application is complete. After the material has cured, you will need to use solvents to remove the Gator Base. Application and recoating. Make sure the surface temperature is above 40 degrees and the relative humidity is below 90% before coating. Apply in increments. To achieve a 6 mil dry coating of Gator Base, product can be rolled, brushed, and provides a slight orange peel finish. For a greater orange peel effect, apply Gator Base with a short nap mohair roller. Roll or spray each coat and allow drying for at least 20-30 minutes in between each coat. When applying to its cold rolled steel, flash rusting can be readily eliminated by applying a mist coat of Gator Base using spray or roller for less than 1 mil wet spot. Curing this light deposit of Gator Base prior to any subsequent Gator Base coating will eliminate flash rusting. Apply Gator Base or Gator Glide to a warm surface, 100 degrees to 140 degrees, will also eliminate eliminate flash rusting while speeding up the cure of the coating. On sandblasting cold rolled steel, it may be necessary to apply flash rust additive 104-K prior to coating. Shelf life equals 1 year. Do not freeze in storage. Coating type: epoxy, silicone, water-based. Color: various. Contact Gatorhead representatives. Pot life 60 minutes. Induction time: none. Solids by weight 40%. Coverage ratio: approximately 150 square feet at 6 mil. Tensile strength 1750 psi. Elongation: ATSM 2370. Greater than 10% adhesion. ASTM D451 greater than 1000 psi. Abrasion: CS 17 kilograms, 1000 cycles, less than 40 milligrams of loss. Cure time complete in 5 days. Dry to touch in 2 hours. Force cure 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Many applications can be returned to service the next day. BOC ASTM 3960-0.5 #/gallon. Heat resistance: do not exceed 275 degrees continuous service. Alright. Pretty technical, ain't it? I'm glad I got all that. Alright, so we're done with the Gator Base. Moving on to the Gator Glide. Swamp boats. Low coefficient of friction. Application guide and technical information meets EPA, USDA, and FDA 21 CFR 175.300 requirements. Surface preparation. Gator Glide 2 G2 is a silicone epoxy coating having unique release properties while adhering to a broad range of substrates, including wood, concrete, fiberglass, metals, and most plastics, including epoxies, urethanes, and alkaloids. Gator Glide 2 has excellent abrasion and slip properties. Mixing instructions. Gator Glide 2 is a 2-component product. Gator Glide 2 is packaged in 1 gallon mixed together. For quantities less than prepackaged kit, mix as follows to 11 parts of the A component, mix 2 parts of the B component. Mix the A and the B until completely blended. No induction period is necessary. Spray or roll immediately, thinning and clean up. In most cases, it is not necessary to thin Gator Glide 2. If you find it necessary to thin Gator Glide 2, you may add up to 5% drinking water. Clean up by using soap and water while the Gator Glide 2 is in an uncured state. For best results, clean all equipment as soon as the application is complete. Gator Glide 2 is in an uncured state. For best results, clean all equipment as soon as the application is complete and after the material is cured. Solvent is needed to clean the Gator Glide 2. Application and recoating. Spray Gator Glide 2 for 3 to 4 mil dry or 6 to 8 mil wet coating. Spray in 2 or 3 increments to avoid sagging if a heavier deposit is required. Apply the last coat as thin as 2 to 3 mil dry coating to obtain the best smoothness and abrasion resistance. If poor wetting occurs while applying Gator Glide, the surface temperature, the coating's then lightly roughened the dry Gator Glide surface with 400 grit sandpaper prior to top coating. Make sure the surface temperature is above 40 degrees Fahrenheit and the relative humidity is below 90% before coating. Allow at least 48 hours and ideally 1 week of curing before putting into service. Post-heating and elevated temperatures will speed up curing and improve the abrasion resistance. Do not use harsh chemicals for cleaning Gator Glide surfaces. A simple hand wipe or a light scrape is adequate for removing marine growth. If the Gator Glide surface has become damaged or has excessive wear, an occasional touch-up may be required. This can be achieved by simply spraying 1 to 3 mils of the Gator Glide 2 over the existing Gator Glide surface and allowing it to cure for at least 24 hours prior to putting it back into service. That's why we're using the Gator Base Black, and because if any scratches, rub-throughs, or anything of the Gator Base or the Gator Glide green, we'll be able to see the black through the green, and we'll know when we need to touch it up. Shelf life is 1 year. Storage, do not freeze. Caution, extremely slippery. Care must be followed when transporting or walking on this surface. Coating type, I'm not going into all that mess again. You got the idea. So there we go. I mean, you got some strict instructions to follow, but they're not that strict. I mean, basically, if you live in the south, you can do it outdoors, as long as there's no rain in sight. There's not any rain forecast for us for the next week, so we ought to be good there. This is our Gator Base right here. I'm sure that we'll take both of these boxes down to the local hardware store where my good friend Mr. McLean will hook these up in his paint shaker and shake them for me for about 10 or 15 minutes. And they ought to be well mixed. Everything in it ought to be well mixed. All right. Then we'll take it, we'll sit down and we'll mark at the level up here on the level surface, and then we'll mark half of that, and then we'll mark quarters of that, and we'll do the same thing for the second part of it, and we'll mix it 1/4 at a time. And we're going to paint 4, 5, 6 coats of Gator Base on here, as many coats as what I've got enough Gator Base here for. This is a 12-foot 6-inch by I think 36 to 40 inch boat. I got the front sanded off. I'm gonna do the front. I'm gonna do a little bit, a couple inches of each side, and I'm gonna do the back. And that way, I mean, it'll all be pretty much. It'll be easy to wash, because Texas has started new laws about boats. Whenever you take them out of the boat ramp, they need to be washed, and to keep these mussels from spreading to other lakes. Then we're going to apply. We're going to wait about 3 days, 72 hours, just like the instructions say, and we're going to apply this right here. Here's a little bit of first aid warning for you. It says, first it says warning, used in a well-ventilated area. Well ventilated out here. All right. Then first aid, it says ingestion, induced vomiting if a large amount of material is swallowed. If you get it in your eyes, flush water for at least 10 minutes. If irritation persists, seek medical treatment. Skin contact, wash with soap and water. Inhalation, move to fresh air. Before using any wear-on material, consult the applicable safety data sheet for appropriate handling procedures and protective equipment. In emergencies, call Chemtrade at 1-800-424-9300. Again, in emergencies, call Chemtrade at 1-800-424-9300. All right. So for all you do-it-yourselfers, you have problems reading the instructions, there's your instructions. And let's get it on, dude.